Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging, really diving headfirst into one of the most compelling and, let's face it, often pretty anxiety-inducing topics of our time.
Mhm.
The relentless, accelerating march of technological progress, especially when we talk about artificial intelligence.
Right, it's everywhere.
It is. It's a conversation that's impacting, well, everything from the global economy right down to our daily routines. And it holds these really profound implications for the future, for humanity, for how we even define work.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to unpack some diverse perspectives on this future. We want to move beyond the simple headlines, to really try and understand the nuances in the fascinating source material we've gathered.
And it is fascinating.
Yeah, we're looking at a really thought-provoking LinkedIn post from Blockchain Company. It offers this strong philosophical counterpoint to some of the more common dystopian views you hear.
Which is refreshing, honestly.
It is, and it includes crucial info about new tech, new economic models that might already be taking shape. So this deep dive isn't just about the what of these huge changes, but the why they're happening, and maybe most importantly, what it all means for you.
Exactly. And, the conversation around AI's impact, it's so pervasive, almost inescapable, which makes this discussion incredibly timely.
Couldn't agree more.
What's really exciting about the sources we're digging into today is they offer this, well, truly unique and provocative perspective. It fundamentally challenges the conventional thinking, doesn't it, about AI's role in society.
It really does.
It pushes us to ask this central question, and this will guide our whole deep dive today.
Mm.
Is AI, a harbinger of some bleak, workless future for humanity? Or could it actually be the key to unlocking this unprecedented era of human freedom, creativity, maybe even abundance?
Yeah, that's the spectrum, isn't it?
It is. And our sources today, they lean pretty heavily into one end of that spectrum. This isn't just theory. It's asking us to reevaluate our fundamental assumptions about purpose, about prosperity.
That really is the billion-dollar question. Before we dive deeper into those diverging forecasts, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor. This deep dive is brought to you by blockchaincompany.info, our media platform, and sponsored by 4IR Utility Token and 4IR GPT. You can learn about the 4IR utility ecosystem by visiting 4irgpt.com and sign up to 4irgpt.com. That's its first flagship platform for AI knowledge exchange and trading. You can start monetizing your knowledge today through prompts of intelligence and your domain expertise. And hey, remember, to support the BC Podcast's YouTube channel and stay informed about future content and those 4IR credits giveaways, please do click that subscribe button.
Okay, so let's unpack this. This whole conversation around AI, it evokes such strong reactions, right? Sometimes wildly contradictory ones.
Definitely. You see it all the time.
On one hand, we're just bombarded with news about these breathtaking breakthroughs. AI composing music, diagnosing diseases, writing code that builds other AI. It's astonishing stuff.
Mind-blowing, really. But then, on the other hand, you have these pervasive concerns. Massive job displacement, human skills becoming obsolete, these profound societal shifts that just feel, well, overwhelming.
That's the fear side, yeah.
We've all heard those headlines. But today, we're going to start by looking at one particularly prominent voice, someone who's articulated a really stark vision of this future.
Indeed. Our source material points us directly to Geoffrey Hinton. He's often called the Godfather of AI.
Right, quite a title.
And it's not just a casual title, It really underscores his immense influence, decades of expertise in neural networks. That's the backbone of modern AI. So when someone like him speaks, it carries serious weight.
Understandably.
And his recent appearance on Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO podcast, well, it definitely sent ripples through the AI community. Hinton, according to our source, he painted an extremely dark future for humanity.
Wow, okay, dark how?
His core concern, and he states it pretty bluntly, is that it's pretty much the end of work for humans. Because, he says, AI will now pretty much do everything digital that all humans currently do across every industry imaginable.
Everything digital, that's huge.
Think about that. It's not just, factory workers or call centers. It's every digital task. Complex data analysis, creative writing, legal research, architectural design, potentially handled by AI at a scale and speed we can barely even get our heads around.
So it's a systemic shift, not just isolated job losses.
Exactly. That's the implication.
Yeah.
A fundamental systemic shift.
That is a truly chilling thought for a lot of people. I mean, if AI handles virtually everything digital, what is left for us, and what are the bigger societal repercussions of that kind of fundamental change? Are there, like, historical parallels we can look at where tech has drastically altered work?
That's an excellent question, a crucial one. And, you know, while the scale and speed of AI right now might feel unprecedented, we could look back at previous industrial revolutions. Each one mechanization of farming, factory production, the information age, they all fundamentally reshaped the labor market. Jobs were lost, yes, but new ones also emerged, often requiring different skills.
Right, there's usually some adaptation.
Usually. But Hinton's concern, it goes deeper. He suggests that this time the pace of change is just so exponential. Society, governments, they simply won't be able to adapt quickly enough.
Ah, the speed is the killer difference.
That seems to be his point. And his biggest worry, stemming from this widespread automation, it's profoundly human. He suggests that humans will become sad, utterly useless and depressed.
Oof. Useless and depressed.
Imagine a world where most traditional jobs, the things that give us not just income, but often purpose, social structure, a sense of contribution, they just cease to exist. The psychological impact of feeling useless, it could be devastating. It really hits our need for meaning, doesn't it?
Beyond just consuming things, yeah.
Exactly. And he also makes this really strong, almost urgent statement about governments. He asserts that governments have no clue what to do as this tsunami approaches at exponential speed.
So unpreparedness at the highest levels.
That's what he implies, a profound lack of foresight. No policy frameworks to manage this rapid fundamental transformation, which, could lead to social unrest, a big decline in well-being.
Yeah, you can see how that could happen.
Our source kind of sums up this viewpoint by saying that our future seems dystopian if you agree with Geoffrey Hinton entirely to become a plumber.
A stark way to put it.
It's stark, yeah, maybe darkly humorous, but it illustrates the extreme consequence. If all digital work vanishes, maybe the only truly human-centric work left is something deeply physical, hands-on, like plumbing.
Right. So for you, listening, this perspective, it taps right into those immediate concerns, doesn't it? Job security, your career path, what your purpose might be in a world that's increasingly automated. It's a vision that can easily fuel anxiety, that feeling of impending disruption.
It certainly can.
And it is a powerful warning, coming from someone who knows this tech inside and out. It paints this picture where human value is basically just tied to our productive output in the old sense. But here's where it gets really interesting. Our source, this blockchain company post, it acknowledges the weight of Hinton's insights, but then it just pivots completely, offers a radically different, almost counterintuitive interpretation.
This is the fascinating part.
Yeah, it frames the whole AI revolution within this grander, almost allegorical narrative. It sets up what it calls a kicker to ponder, a philosophical addition that fundamentally reframes AI's arrival.
This is where the Morpheus thinks perspective from the post really kicks in. It states that it strongly begs to differ by adding a sliver of philosophy. And it grounds the AI revolution in a context that is, well, frankly, unexpected, almost spiritual.
Spiritual? How so?
The post posits this grand narrative. It starts with the idea that in the beginning, God created human not to work, but to live on earth creatively and enjoy the abundance earth giveth.
Okay, so not created for work, but for creative living and enjoyment.
Exactly, a profound reinterpretation of human purpose, suggesting our original design wasn't for hard labor, but for joyful, creative existence in a world of inherent abundance, like a Garden of Eden state maybe, effortless flourishing, where our main engagement with the world is creative exploration and enjoyment, not survival through toil.
Okay, so if that was the original plan, abundance and creative living, what went wrong? How did we end up here with labor and struggle? And how does this very specific allegory about God's adversary engineer Lucifer fit into a chat about modern AI?
Right, that's a critical point to clarify. The post attributes this disruption to God's adversary engineer Lucifer, who apparently hacked God's Earth simulation with the tree of knowledge and the forbidden apple, leading to free will, pain, and suffering.
Hacked the simulation. Okay.
Now, it's important to see this not as literal theology, right?
Okay.
But as a philosophical allegory. That's how the source uses it. To illustrate a big conceptual shift, it's reframing a foundational story through the lens of engineering simulation theory.
So it's a metaphor.
Essentially, yeah. It suggests our current state of work as we know it, the pain tied to it, isn't humanity's natural or intended state. It's a metaphorical hack that diverted us from that original path of abundance.
Right.
The philosophy continues, stating, "We have chosen to live in pain and our necessary evils because that is how we innately think, but not what the heavens intended." This implies our current societal structures, Our economic models build on endless labor. Even our psychological tendencies towards suffering.
Yeah.
They're a deviation, a choice we've collectively made, not some inherent destiny.
Wow. That is incredibly provocative. It challenges centuries of thinking about our place and purpose.
It really does.
Okay, this is a radical departure from Hinton. So if we've been hacked or if we've chosen to live in pain, how does AI fit into this grand philosophical picture? Is it AI like the reset button, some kind of divine intervention?
Here's the really dramatic assertion. The core thesis of this whole viewpoint. Now, the heavens God through AI is about to set humans free from jail.
Free from jail. So AI is liberation.
That's exactly how it's presented. Not just a technological advance, but a benevolent, almost divinely ordained intervention. A tool for liberation. It completely reframes AI not as a curse leading to joblessness and depression, but as a force designed to release us from a self-imposed prison of labor and suffering.
That's a massive reframing.
The implication is staggering. Humans no longer have to work the way we do, as M-to machine, and robots plus AI do everything, while we enjoy abundance as originally intended.
So machines do the work, we enjoy abundance. M2M, that's machine-to-machine communication, right?
Yeah.
Enhancing the automation.
Precisely. Direct communication between devices, no human needed in the loop for many tasks, boosting efficiency, speeding up the automation. And this vision isn't just about automation. It's about reclaiming a lost state of abundance, where human effort isn't tied to laborious, repetitive tasks anymore.
Okay, so if machines do everything, what do humans do? How do we find purpose? How do we even make a living in this jailbreak scenario? We're back to that core question of human value.
And this is where the vision really crystallizes for you, the individual. The post asserts that this new freedom allows humans to use your creativity on platforms such as 4irgpt.com to trade knowledge, meaning your neurons, and monetize along with AI at exponential scale beyond your current comprehension.
Okay, trade knowledge, monetize your neurons. What does that actually mean? Your neurons as in your brain power, your unique thoughts.
Exactly. Your neurons here, it's a powerful metaphor for your unique human intellect. Your ability to synthesize info, generate original ideas, develop specialized expertise. Instead of working a traditional job, your economic engine becomes your unique human intelligence, your imaginative capacity.
So you're not selling time or labor, but insights, creative output.
That's the idea. And the post suggests an entirely new economy emerges and work gets redefined, leading to infinite happiness and a jailbreak, like dolphins and birds who live freely like teleportation.
Infinite happiness, like dolphins and birds.
And teleportation, that seems thrown in there. It does, doesn't it? The comparison to dolphins and birds, creatures of inherent freedom, playful existence, it underscores the depth of this liberation they envision. And yeah, teleportation, it adds to this idea of entirely new, unconstrained ways of living, hinting at a future where even physical limits are profoundly lessened.
Infinite happiness and a jailbreak. That's quite the promise. This Morpheus Thinks perspective is certainly provocative. The post actually ends with this direct challenge, doesn't it? Humans have chosen to live in jail, but now AI is here to set us free. Get it? Or is there still something you don't yet understand? Challenge me.
Yeah, it throws down the gauntlet.
So for our listeners, this perspective, it has huge implications. If this holds true, what does work truly mean for you in the future? How might your inherent creativity, your unique way of seeing the world, connecting ideas, how does that become your main economic engine, not just a hobby?
Right. It shifts the whole paradigm from effort-based income to value-based income.
Yeah.
Driven by what makes us uniquely human, not what makes us efficient cogs.
It's a direct counter-narrative to that fear of obsolescence then.
Exactly. Instead of making humans useless, AI, in this view, frees us up to become more human, more aligned with that original design of creative enjoyment. It challenges us to look inward, consider what true human value is, independent of traditional labor.
So it's not about being idle, but shifting effort.
Precisely. Shifting from repetitive tasks to unique human contributions. Problem-solving, art, deep thinking, connecting, innovating in ways only human consciousness can. It's a vision where your intellectual capital isn't just valued, but actually monetized in totally new ways.
Okay, so we've gone from potentially dystopian AI to liberatory, almost divinely inspired AI. Now let's shift gears a bit. From this grand philosophical debate to the tangible technologies that could actually underpin such a radical future. The source mentions that novel technologies in the fourth industrial revolution will now emerge beyond current human comprehension and abundance. This is where things get really mind-bending.
The fourth industrial revolution, or 4IR. That's exactly what the source is pointing to. And it's not just one or two inventions, it's this deep convergence of tech, blurring the lines between physical, digital, biological spheres.
Right, like AI, robotics.
AI, robotics, IoT, the Internet of Things, quantum computing, biotech, advanced materials, you name it. What's crucial, as the source emphasizes, is that some of these emerging techs are described as being beyond current human comprehension.
Beyond comprehension. That's a big claim.
It is, but it's not just hyperbole. It sets the stage for discussing concepts that, honestly, until recently, were pure science fiction. It suggests our current understanding of what's possible is about to be drastically expanded, leading to breakthroughs that could redefine human experience, our relationship with the world.
So things like IoT, connecting everything.
Yeah.
That helps create the abundance?
Potentially, yes. Imagine countless devices, data streams, creating this hyper-efficient global infrastructure, managing resources, logistics with incredible precision. That could be a prerequisite for the kind of widespread abundance this vision describes.
Okay. And speaking of seemingly fantastical concepts, the source actually brings up teleportation.
Right?
It even shares a personal anecdote from the post's author. I remember watching this Professor Brian Greene teleportation explanation over 10 years ago on YouTube. He's one of my most favorite scientists, along with Michio Kaku. I've had the privilege of shaking hands with in Bristol, where he talked about all the future possibilities in science, including teleportation. That's quite something, teleportation. What's the scientific basis here? Is there one?
Well, the mention of Michio Kaku is key. He's a renowned theoretical physicist, brilliant at making complex physics accessible.
I've heard of him, yeah.
The fact that a scientist like him, and Brian Greene too, openly discuss teleportation as a future possibility within the laws of physics, that lends a serious layer of credibility. It reinforces this idea that these incomprehensible technologies might be rooted in actual science, even if practical realization is way off.
Okay, so what's the science? Briefly.
It usually involves quantum entanglement, where two particles get linked and the state of one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are.
Yeah.
Spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it.
Right.
And our source dives into the mechanics, as described by Prisca Ekhaguere. She's a public figure, LinkedIn top voice in emerging tech. She outlines it. How teleportation works. A copy of all your particles is transferred to the other point. Then the original is destroyed.
Whoa, wait. The original is destroyed?
Yeah. That description comes from a PBS America documentary, The Fabric of the Cosmos, and it immediately throws up some huge philosophical questions.
Yeah, no kidding. Like Prisca Ekhaguere asks right there in the source, why does the original have to die? Doesn't that hurt? If it is a copy, then is it really you?
These aren't just tech questions, are they?
Not at all. They hit the very heart of identity, consciousness, what it means to be human.
Yep.
If you create a perfect copy, particle by particle, and the original is gone, is the you that arrives at the destination truly you? Or just an identical twin with all your memories?
That's deeply unsettling. It is. It's a profound philosophical challenge posed by the possibility of the tech. Forces us to confront our understanding of self, soul, continuity. Is identity tied to our physical form? Or is it consciousness, memories, experience? If it's the latter, maybe the copy is you.
It messes with your head just thinking about it.
And the fact that an expert like Prisca Ekhaguere, with her background in blockchain, AI, Web3, and poetry, is raising these questions. It shows these emerging techs aren't just engineering problems. They force us to wrestle with fundamental existential stuff.
It's a perfect example of how 4IR isn't just changing what we do, but maybe who we are.
Exactly. Pushing the boundaries of what existence even means.
Technology's challenging identity. That really underscores the beyond comprehension idea. And teleportation, however far off, is just one example. There's another transformative tech mentioned in the source that could fundamentally change computation itself, right? Enabling a lot of this grand vision. Quantum computing.
Indeed. The source explicitly asks, who knows what happens when we transition to using quantum computing instead of classic computing? It acknowledges that classical computing based on bits, zeros, and ones has real limits for certain incredibly complex problems.
Right. It hits walls.
Quantum computing uses quantum mechanics, superposition, entanglement. A quantum bit, a qubit, can be 0, 1, or both at the same time.
Both.
And multiple qubits can be linked, processing vast amounts of info in parallel. It allows for vastly more complex calculations, solving problems that would take today's supercomputers billions of years, potentially in minutes.
That's a complete game changer.
It's a total paradigm shift. Beyond the binary limits we've known for decades, the potential implications are staggering. accelerating AI development to unimaginable speeds, powering sophisticated simulations, revolutionizing drug discovery, breaking current encryption, enabling breakthroughs we can't even conceive of right now. It could be the key enabler for that exponential scale beyond imagination Morpheus talks about, managing the resources, the complex systems needed for that abundant, work-free society, optimizing everything.
So quantum computing could be the engine driving this whole new era.
It could well be. A technology unlocking new dimensions of possibility, moving us into an era of capabilities that feel almost magical today.
Powerful thought. Quantum computing as the engine for this new abundance. On that note, let's just take a brief moment for our sponsor again. Just a quick reminder that this deep dive is sponsored by 4IR Utility Token and a 4IR GPT. If you're intrigued by this idea of monetizing your knowledge in the emerging economy, do visit 4irtoken.com. And definitely sign up to 4irgpt.com. You get 10 free credits to start your own prompt media channel. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the BC Podcast's YouTube channel for more deep dives like this one. Okay, we've talked grand philosophy, mind-bending tech, but let's bring this back down to you, our listener. How do you thrive in this jailbreak scenario where AI and robots do the work? That core premise from Morpheus thinks is key, meaning you can use your creativity on platforms such as 4irgpt.com to trade knowledge, meaning your neurons, and monetize along with AI at exponential scale beyond your current comprehension. So what does this new economy actually look like on the ground? What does monetizing your neurons really involve?
Right. This new economy, at its heart, it's a complete redefinition of work. It shifts away from labor as just exchanging time and effort for money. Instead, it posits that your human intrinsic value, your unique creativity, your insights, your specialized domain expertise, that becomes the primary currency.
So it's not passive income, it's actively using your brain power.
Exactly. Actively leveraging what the source calls your neurons. That metaphor for your unique cognitive architecture, your knowledge, your wisdom, your ability to connect ideas, your imagination. Imagine turning your specific understanding into a valuable, tradable asset.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, say you're an expert in sustainable urban planning. You could package your unique insights into a framework, maybe a series of advanced AI prompts that others or even AI systems themselves can license or use for their projects.
Ah, okay. So you're selling the framework, the knowledge packet.
Right. Instead of a traditional job, your economic engine is your unique intelligence, your creative solutions. You generate value by sharing that knowledge. And the source ties this directly to infinite happiness. The idea being that freedom from traditional labor, plus pursuing creative work that's inherently fulfilling, leads to greater well-being.
Aligning activity with purpose, not just economic necessity.
That's the vision.
Sounds incredibly liberating, but maybe still a bit abstract for some listeners. What's the practical mechanism? How do you actually turn insights into tradable value in this economy?
This is where platforms like 4irgpt.com come in. Our source calls it the first flagship platform for AI knowledge exchange and trading. It facilitates something called prompt media engineering.
Prompt media engineering, okay.
Essentially, it lets users create and trade prompts based on their knowledge. So think about it. You have deep understanding in a specific field, advanced marketing, quantum physics, ancient history, whatever.
Right.
You distill that knowledge, those unique insights, into structured prompts or knowledge packets. Things an AI can use or other people or companies can subscribe to and benefit from.
So you package your expertise.
Precisely. The platform emphasizes monetizing any knowledge, insights, and professional domain expertise they have on just about anything. So your expertise in medieval history, organic gardening, AI ethics, it becomes a tradable asset. Your intellectual capital packaged up.
And they give you free credits to start.
Yeah, that's the kicker. 10 free credits that allows them to start their prompt media channel. It really lowers the barrier to entry, lets anyone explore this new economic model, turning their inherent human capital into potential income.
That is a really interesting model, and it sounds like it could complement things people are already doing, like, say, running a YouTube channel.
Oh, absolutely. It's designed to be highly synergistic. Our source explicitly says 4IRGPT is not only another revenue source to boost their YouTube income through deeper insights and paying subscribers.
Right, offering more value to dedicated followers.
Exactly. Attracting people who want more than the general public content by announcing your 4IRGPT channel in your videos.
Yeah.
But it also amplifies their YouTube channel on 4IRGPT leading to more potential YouTube subscribers who discover them.
Ah, so it works both ways. Discovery, too.
Right. A practical, scalable growth strategy for creators, for knowledge workers. If you have a YouTube channel on tech reviews, maybe you offer advanced schematics or coding prompt tutorials on your 4IRGPT channel.
Okay.
And being on 4IRGPT gives you visibility in a community hungry for knowledge, potentially drawing new viewers back to your YouTube channel. It creates this positive feedback loop, a dynamic, self-reinforcing knowledge economy.
Where existing content funnels into more specialized, monetized knowledge.
Got it.
It's clear this vision goes beyond just individual platforms, though. The blockchain company has touched on broader economic transformation in other posts. Titles like Tokenize the Economy Now Due to AI or Risk Going Extinct, and My Conversation with ChatGPT about a behavioral income, cryptocurrency, tokenization, and a Type 1 civilization. Those suggest an even grander shift, almost societal restructuring.
Absolutely. That idea to tokenize the economy, it implies a fundamental shift towards a decentralized, value-driven system for knowledge, for creativity.
Using blockchain, presumably.
That's the likely mechanism. Tokenization via blockchain allows for fractional ownership, secure transfer, transparent valuation of digital assets, which in this case could be your neurons, your knowledge prompts.
So a more direct exchange of value.
Potentially, yeah. Bypassing traditional middlemen, democratizing access to wealth creation, maybe? Then you have concepts like behavioral income and Type 1 civilization.
Okay, what about those? Behavioral income sounds a bit like UBI.
It could be seen that way. A form of universal basic income, perhaps, where basic needs are met not through traditional jobs, but through a system supporting individual contribution in various forms, including creative and knowledge output. The behavioral part might imply it's tied to positive societal contributions, however those get defined.
So a safety net allowing freedom to create.
That's the idea. Freedom to lean into creative pursuits without the immediate pressure of survival. And Type 1 civilization. That's from the Kardashev scale. A civilization harnessing all its planet's energy.
Right. Very advanced.
In this context, it suggests that by redefining work, achieving abundance through AI and these new economic models, humanity could reach a higher stage of civilization. Scarcity overcome, resources abundant, focus shifting from survival and labor to universal flourishing, advanced collective goals.
So this isn't just about making a living, it's about evolving as a species, moving towards that ultimate positive outcome, the Morpheus post suggests, instead of the dystopian path Hinton warns about.
Precisely. This vision presents a truly ultimate positive outcome for humanity. A stark contrast to those dystopian views. It fundamentally reinterprets AI job displacement.
Not a disaster, but an opportunity.
Not necessarily a dire consequence, something to fear, but maybe an impetus, a catalyst pushing us towards an entirely novel economy, redefining what work even means. It suggests the challenges of AI are actually what force us into a future where our innate human capacities, creativity, unique intelligence become our greatest assets, enabling a life of abundance and freedom.
Possibly supported by things like UBI or behavioral income.
Exactly. Ensuring everyone benefits from this huge societal shift, allowing them the leisure and security to engage in creative, intellectual pursuits. An incredibly optimistic outlook, framing 4IR not as a threat, but as the dawn of a new, potentially utopian era.
What a journey. We have really covered some incredible ground today on the deep dive. We started with two profoundly different visions for humanity's future with AI.
Huge difference.
Yeah, Geoffrey Hinton's stark warnings work, obsolescence, human sadness, and then the radically optimistic, almost liberationist philosophy from Morpheus thinks, via blockchain company. AI as the key to freeing us from the jail of traditional labor, ushering in creative abundance. We also dove into those mind-bending 4IR technologies. Teleportation, which Michio Kaku says fits the laws of physics, to the exponential power of quantum computing, potentially unlocking unimaginable capabilities.
It's wild stuff.
It really underscores the idea that we might be, just maybe, on the precipice of the greatest time to be alive. A future where AI and robots do the heavy lifting, letting us monetize our innate creativities at exponential scale, beyond imagination, all this. It really does have the potential for a happy ending, not that dystopian outlook Hinton implies.
And that's the core takeaway, isn't it? The potential for positive transformation is immense. As you, listening, reflect on all this today, maybe ask yourself, what if the greatest challenges of our time are actually the catalysts for our greatest liberation?
That's a powerful question.
If work, as we know it, gets redefined, what innate creative capacity within you is just waiting to be unleashed, waiting to be monetized in this brave new world? It's about moving beyond fear, embracing the potential. A future where knowledge isn't just gained, but applied, where critical thinking is crucial to navigate this sea of information and opportunity.
So, thinking about your unique skills, passions, wisdom.
Exactly. How might they become your source of value, your source of fulfillment in an age of AI-driven abundance?
What a thought to leave you all with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the future of work and humanity. This deep dive was brought to you by blockchaincompany.info and sponsored by 4IR Utility Token and 4IR GPT. Now, if you're a startup or a company looking to sponsor our podcasts, you can contact us through our YouTube account or 4irgpt.com for exclusive spotlight podcasts about your brand. And for all our listeners, please make sure you visit 4irtoken.com and especially 4irgpt.com. Sign up, get those 10 free credits, and start monetizing your knowledge today. Most importantly, please make sure you hit that subscribe button on the BC Podcasts YouTube channel. Stay informed about further 4IR credits, giveaways, and all our future deep dives. We'll be back soon with more insights to empower your understanding. Until then, keep digging deeper.